My ambition, my ambition, my ambition.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. I was going to jump in there and do the little ambition thing.
Oh,
Take you by
no, let's
surprise.
start again. You go. Come on.
Ambition, ambition, ambition.
Professional.
Welcome to Ambition, a very professional podcast hosted by
Exactly, yeah.
Alex Morgan and
Scott. Very professional. Not.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome
We're
back.
back. We're back. We're back together.
Oh dear, but we won't be singing. Don't worry, guys. I know.
I
Otherwise,
don't know. I'm in the mood for singing, so
Oh, I like
I might
that.
be.
That's good though. It's always good to obviously bring the good vibes, have a party. But maybe one day we can have a ambition rave.
Ooh, that sounds good.
I love how we both said, ooh. That's just we're both nuts. That's nice. It's nice to meet another crazy person.
Can just be like the daytime over 40s or over 30s. Oh no, it must have been over 30s because you're not 40.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, disco thing that we went to.
Oh yes, I think we mentioned that a while back, didn't we, guys? I don't know if you guys remember, but we went to a daytime rave. That was fun. That was fun.
It was. We were like the youngest people there. It was good, wasn't it? I think once you got your head round it being light while you were dancing.
Yeah. It was fun though. But I think, I was thinking about it this morning. It's like, motherhood is so demanding and sacrificial and we love it and always with the kids and doing something. But once in a while, it's even more than once in a while. It's nice to do something for yourself. I think that's how you kind of keep this kind of energy or joy. Otherwise, it can be quite all-encompassing.
Yeah. I feel like that's a good segue into you going on holiday. Tell me about your holiday. We haven't talked about that.
Oh,
really.
Yes. Well, you did as well, so.
I did, but mine was less relaxing, let's say.
You know what? I actually ended up going solo, so I ended up going by myself. So I went to Istanbul.
You?
Yes, I went to Istanbul with myself. That was fun. So it was 4 nights. I was supposed to go with my sister. She didn't end up coming. But I thought, you know what? What's the worst that could happen? And I had a great time. I missed the kids, but at the same time, it was nice to kind of just take a break. I thought about them a lot. I did a video call. I worried that they'd be missing me, but they were completely fine.
Amazing.
So that really showed me that they're fine. As long as they have people over here that are looking after them, they're fine.
I guess you going to a different country is no different to you doing, I don't know, being out at work for the day or something like that. To them, they don't really know the difference. But going on holiday by yourself is like my ultimate fantasy.
Oh, I think that's why you and I get along, Alex, because I am like that. Like, I love my own company. Like, it would take me a while to be really bored by myself. Maybe about a week, then I'll start to be like, okay, this is a bit sad. But I have like a longer, I think, kind of bandwidth for being alone.
So what did you do? Did you go out and about? Did you spend time at the hotel? Like, what did you do? I'm going to live vicariously through.
Oh, really? A bit of everything. I had breakfast in the hotel, looking around. Spoke to sort of different random people, which was quite nice. So just have a conversation and not have like a little person kind of running around you. So it was quite nice. I was speaking to this guy, and he'd been over to UK a few times, so it was quite nice to hear about the tradition, then the culture, and like the help. But we just had this 2-hour conversation, in the lobby, just about like, there's no conversation you used to have when you had kids, like just a normal conversation. But that was really cool. And he's very much like into like self-development. So that was really cool. And then I went to the sites. There's a Blue Palace, and can't remember, Hagia Sophia. But I will say this, I didn't really go into the museums and stuff. I know it sounds really bad, but I'm not really like a museum-y type. I just want to see a beautiful view. I'm not one to like go into a museum and look at all the artifacts. And
yeah,
I might do that with the kids, but it's not something I want to do.
I feel like having just done the opposite to your holiday of like it not being relaxing and not having any time alone. So we've only done, since Ted was born, and we'd never done this kind of holiday before. We'd all inclusive. We've literally just taken him to the hotel, chilled out in the hotel. All he's wanted to do was go in the pool. Last time we were away for our anniversary, and we wanted to go out for a nice meal on the day of our anniversary, even though we'd have to take Ted. And he didn't want to. We wanted to go to the buffet restaurant in the hotel, so we just did that. But this holiday was not that. This was going to the south of Italy, which meant driving from Newcastle to Stansted, then flying to Italy, then staying in the city for 2 nights, then staying with my cousin for a night, then staying in an apartment near my cousin for a week. Then, it was just a lot.
Yeah.
Me driving around the south of Italy, where, if you haven't driven there, don't.
On the side of the road. I can imagine.
It's intense. Yeah. Somebody overtook me on the off ramp of a motorway, even though it was a single lane. People are just, I think the only rule is don't collide with another car, and
it's loosely applied.
Loosely applied. If you see all the cars, they're all so dinged up and stuff as well that I think it's very loosely applied. But in my hire car, I didn't want to collide with anything. But yeah, it wasn't.
You need a holiday now from your holiday, basically.
I've actually been on TUI's website looking up last minute holidays. I don't have a real intention to go because I think, but I did look. I could go from Newcastle to Majorca for 3 nights for 350 quid, all inclusive. And I was severely tempted to just be like, so how I looked after Ted for 4 days in Italy while Eddie went to the football in Naples.
Maybe you should.
Should I just do it? Should I just go?
I think you should, but I think you should. I mean, honestly, the time away from them, I realized something. It just makes you better for them. So even if you're going to look at it like that, fine, look at it like that. Even if obviously we don't want to optimize our life just for motherhood, right? But if it helps you, but seriously, they were fine. They were not crying. They were not. I mean, they asked about me a couple of times, but they were fine. I even did a video call. They were not looking at me crying. They were just looking at me and making silly faces and carrying on with the day. They are fine. And I think it's they've got a dad, they've got grandparents. Maybe we need to use our village more. That's something I was thinking about. Because otherwise, I don't know. We're just going to be depleted and just.
Well, we were talking just before we started recording about how you try and make up for not being there for things by overcompensating.
Oh, that is hard. But I don't know if it's just. I think Belinda spoke about this. About the guilt. I think we are wired for this. So I think one thing to accept is that we are wired for this. So you're not. If you are also a mom like us and you're struggling with this, it's normal. I think biology wires us to stay with our children. So we're not alone in this, but I think we want to overcompensate. We want to make up for time. We want to be as briefly away as possible. I mean, I work from home. I've done it for years, and on this week I had an appointment in Newcastle. I went out there. I thought, okay, I'll go for. I work in a shared office. It was lovely, but I was telling my mother-in-law I'll be back in time to pick him up. Pick my son up, just because I felt like I needed to come back quickly. I felt like I needed to, kind of almost be away, but not make it obvious that I'm away so that they don't miss me. And I just think, why? I mean, that's insane. She can pick him up. She was actually when I called her eventually saying, okay, fine, you know what? I can't be back in time. She was like, oh, that's fine. I'll just pick him up. She wanted to pick him up. It's crazy.
Yeah, it really is. And I know when I went back to work at first that I was saying this to you before, that I made a packed lunch for Ted to take to his grandparents on a Friday for maybe the first year that I was back at work. And I think about that now and I'm like, what were you doing? Why?
As if they haven't got 2 hands, or as if they haven't done it before. We forget that.
Exactly. They literally raised us.
Even with less, I don't know, less convenience, less everything, even probably not as much support from their husbands, whatever. This, I think it's, nothing's new, but perhaps we're just, I don't know what it is. We're just trying to overcompensate, overbe there. I don't know. It is mad. I realize now, guys, we're 8 minutes in, almost 10 minutes in, and we're going to talk about money. But perhaps we should sit with this topic, because I think the money, we're going to talk about saving money, but perhaps it's a topic in itself. Because interesting enough, someone else did when I posted about going to Istanbul, someone, I won't obviously say her name, she wrote about how her mum spent all her life as a mother sacrificing everything, and how it really impacted her, because when prior to them sort of leaving home as adults, it felt like they were taking a piece of their mum with them, and the guilt that they carried as well, because they could see their mum giving up everything. And that really touched me, this idea that, I don't know, like, what burden, how was our kids seeing it as well? Even though we think, it's hard for us, but how would they see it when they grow up? They look back and think, "Ooh, my mom gave up so much that I might need to overcompensate as well and look after her." Or I don't know. What do you think?
So did this person feel guilty when
Yes.
they left home because they
Oh,
left
yeah.
their mum with no focus and stuff?
I think, yeah, she was
Okay.
saying how literally their mom sacrificed everything for them, so that when they parted with living home, it kind of felt like they were leaving because they were taking a piece of their mom with them, because
Right.
so much that what would she now be without them? It's just the way she wrote it. It really touched me. I just thought about this idea that the other side of it, like when our kids, as they grow up, what would they remember of us? They think that, oh, mom gave so much that I'm scared that she giving too much, and I don't know. It's hard, right? I think it's a very hard topic.
I think, yeah, it's really hard. I think I definitely want Ted to see that I'm a person as well, that I'm not just his mum, that I have things I do. Like, he knows I come and record a podcast and stuff like that. He'll say, "Are you interviewing somebody?" And he's like, that voicemail that you sent me the other day of celebrating the milestone we'd hit in terms of followers and stuff like that. And doing that with the kids. I think it's really cool to do that and have the kids kind of see and celebrate our success as well. And before we started talking, we were talking about men and how it is different, how they are able to just kind of go off and go to work and without feeling this kind of responsibility, this feeling of, will they be okay without me? They're quite confident to leave and not worry about what's happening.
It's mad. I mean, I love my husband. He's great. Like, I don't know why I need to see it again. I can't. I feel like I need to say this with that, because otherwise, put my
You've got to
I'm passionate.
caveat it,
You've got to
yeah.
caveat everything. Okay, so I love my husband. I don't hate him. I'm not divorcing him. I'm not leaving him apart. I know it's like, she hates men. I know, but it's just like this idea that, I mean, he's working today and he works hard. He wants to be a great dad, and it's fantastic. But it's gone this afternoon. He's gone off to an entrepreneurs forum, and I'm slightly jealous of that. That he can just kind of obviously find some time to go to an entrepreneurs forum. Do you know how many forums I want to go to? But at the back of my mind is the idea that I need to spend as less time away with my kids as possible. That's how I'm wired.
Okay.
Like, I'm wired to think, what's the least amount of friction I can take? What's the least amount of time I can spend working? What's the least amount of time I can spend doing things outside of me? Because I think, would they think they're not my priority? Would they go and think mom was not around? I think it's really complicated, because that is at the back of my mind. So because of that, I can't do things with freedom. I'm
You're always thinking of
back
them.
in time, back in an hour. No, I'm not going for long. No, mommy will be here. Don't worry. I think it's really hard.
I could remember in the early days of motherhood, like, rushing how long I was in the shower for. And like, it's madness to think about it now. Absolute madness. But I was like running up the stairs, like ripping my clothes off in the shower, like wash my face really quickly and then get out. And I know for a fact that never crossed Eddie's mind to like rush how quickly he was in the shower.
No, why?
Like
I'm having a bath. Like, why can't I have a bath or a shower and just enjoy it?
If I told him that I was like sprinting upstairs, and like I would feel like I could hear Ted crying while I was showering and stuff. Like, I think I was in a bit of an anxious place at that point in time. But I mean, it would never have crossed his mind to be like,
I need to rush.
I better hurry up and get back downstairs. It just wouldn't have done. But I mean, I for a long time showered with Ted in a bouncy chair in the bathroom.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Which I think is so normal, and I think this is really commonly experienced by women, of like you're saying, minimizing that time you're away from them. So like, if I was going out to do something, I'd go there and come straight back. I wouldn't do it in a leisurely way or get a coffee or anything like that.
You wouldn't add another thing. Yeah. And even when you do, sometimes it feels a bit rebellious. So like, you've got to like check in and, happy. I wonder if it's also we think like maybe society is a bit more judgmental about women, because I think sometimes I think with the grandparents think I'm not a good mom as well. I do think that, whereas I don't think that would occur to my husband. I think he would just they just or maybe they would, but maybe they wouldn't, but maybe they would, and I think they would. I don't even know. It's
Oh,
funny.
you've
I'm
come
like,
full circle
I
there.
give up. I'll just it's doomed.
I mean, I was talking to my cousin about this, like while we were in Italy, and obviously she lives in Italian society. She's
Yeah.
separated from her husband, and she was saying, I have to work, but I feel judged for. At the same time, I feel judged for working. There's still a culture of, well, but you should be with your child.
Oh, yeah.
He shouldn't be at home. If you're working in the evening, he shouldn't be at home, even though her dad lives in the same house as them. So there's an adult there. He's an elderly adult, but he's there. So it's not like my little nephew's alone in the house, but she feels guilt and she feels judged, even though, what's her option? She has to bring home some money so they can survive. And it really struck me that that's something people are kind of fighting against all the time, and it doesn't really seem to matter where they live as well.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think it's like it's a dilemma. It's at the back of your mind, but I think it's just I always think the awareness is a first step. Just the awareness and just maybe sitting with it. I'm learning to kind of accept that maybe I do feel bad sometimes, or I feel like I need to be there all the time, and just kind of sitting with it sometimes.
Yeah, I
And I think
agree.
so.
I mean, I'd definitely say as somebody who's in like the earlier days of motherhood, it's hard. It's hard to give advice because I probably wouldn't have taken advice at
No.
that point either. But I feel like don't lose yourself completely. If you need a shower, take as long as you need in the shower.
No. Even
Don't
though we
be,
know even though we know you won't, but we'll tell you anyway. Exactly.
but don't be so hard on yourself.
Yeah,
The world is not going to fall apart because you have another 5 minutes in the shower.
I
It
know.
will be fine.
And also, I think Hannah spoke about this. Is it Hannah? I think it was her. She spoke about this idea of like how a son, what he gets from other relationships. I think that's really interesting. I think sometimes we've got to look at it from our children's perspective. Like as they grow up, like I always take it like a long-term perspective. I always think to myself, okay, in 10, 15, 20, 30 years, how will this play out? And I think fundamentally it's good for your children to have other adult relationships in their life beyond you, because they're learning to navigate the world and learning to ask for things in different ways. Because sometimes we look at our children, we just know what they need, but with other people, they may need to communicate that, and that's good for them. It's good to have a little bit of maybe delayed to getting what they want because they have to ask or explain a certain way. So sometimes I think actually, we're doing them a favor and
Well,
allowing them to
they
explore
learn different things from all the different people they hang out with. So Ted has a varied cast of people that he spends time with because he spends time with both our sets of parents and certainly my parents. My mum's got 3 siblings, so he sees a lot of her siblings. They'll come over and he sees my Auntie Nicola every week. So it's his great auntie. He loves hanging out with her.
Yeah.
She comes and she's like got all of these games she's set up, and like she's really creative, and they all do things that I wouldn't or couldn't necessarily do with him. And Ted is like the family gossip. He's on the other side of the family. He sees Eddie's grandparents, so his great grandparents, so Eddie's grandma and Eddie's granddad. And he said to me the other day, Granny Annie's got a broken toilet seat.
Oh wow, that's
She dropped a bottle on it. And I'm like, how
wow.
do you know all of these random things about members of the family? And it's because he goes around and visits them all. But, there's no keeping secrets from Ted. He's off sharing all your news with everybody else.
Toilet. Do not tell anyone.
But then when we went to visit her, I was like, oh, Ted was telling me about your toilet seat. And she was like, as if what a ridiculous thing for him to be sharing.
No, but I think it's the way that he's kind of just his brain, isn't it? It's the way it's firing off all this information, passing it around. discovering the things. It does make their life much more interesting and varied. I mean, my son thinks his granddad is his best friend. Well, best friend's
No,
granddad. I know. And
no,
also, even from another perspective, they're not here forever. The grandparents not here forever. So sometimes it's
totally
just,
agree with that.
yeah. So it's kind of just allowing them also to really, really connect with the richness of that is the
And
grandchildren.
Ted's grandparents on Eddie's side are away. They were on holiday, and
Oh,
he normally spends Fridays with them. He woke up this morning and was like, "Can I go to? Am I going to Gran and Granddad's today?" And I was like, "No, they've gone on holiday." And he said, "Well, what will I do today? Whose house will I go to?" And I said, "Well, no, you just stay here with me and Daddy."
anybody's
He said,
house? No, no house
"Well,
to go
no," he
to.
said, "Well, can I go to Nonna and Granddad's?" So that's my mum and dad. I said, "Well, I can ask them if if they're available." So he went over there for 2 hours this morning because he wanted to have a trip out. But he chose to do that, and he is also, very, very happy to go there by himself. I dropped him off, and I said, "Shall I come in and have a coffee?" And he was like, "No." All right, thanks. I'll go and get on. But I feel like it's really contributing to his confidence of having those relationships with other adults.
Absolutely. And I think when we look at it like that, and I don't know if it will make it easy. I probably won't because I know I'll still, even after this conversation, I know I will still, but I will still go back to kind of that protectiveness. But at least maybe once in a while, we can sort of sit down and kind of look back and reflect, and then just accept that. I don't know. Mother is a chapter. It's
And we're
it's
both at the point
like
now of them starting school, which is
starting school. I
crazy.
know. I know.
Where's that time gone?
I don't know. I just. How do you feel about that though? Because you're gonna blink in it, and you'll be here.
Yeah, and I think as well, so lots of people have said to me once they do go to school,
Mhm.
everything speeds up as well. I mean, I know you're kind of there already
Yeah,
because
the uniform. I think the uniform makes it less like a fresh start because it's been on uniform for a few months. So yeah.
I feel weird about uniform. So at the school Ted's going to go to, that it's very old school, the uniform. Like,
Gosh,
it's a
yes.
lovely school, but the uniform is a tie and a
Right.
shirt,
I think that's a bit
which,
much. Sorry.
well, he hasn't started yet. And I'm like, let's see what we can do about this. Because my school in the 80s phased out a tie and shirt for a polo shirt. I feel like
Yeah, it's
they're
too
only little
restrictive for that
kids.
age. Yeah, no,
They
I
need to be
don't like that.
comfortable.
Personally, I don't like that. I just think it's too much. Like
Mm-hmm.
polos is plenty, unless they're older. Then I get it. If you're size
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
primary school,
secondary
but
school,
also,
fair enough. But like, they're 4. They don't need to wear a tie.
well, bless them. Yeah, I don't know, but do you think you're gonna you're gonna advocate and get some parents together, or
I mean, I don't know whether that's the best introduction for me
yeah, I
to the
know, I know.
school. But yes, even when we looked around, I was like, they've got ties on. Why are they wearing ties? Like, I
No, I think
just,
that's too much because it's.
yeah,
I think one thing I've also kind of because I realized that we want. I think let's make childhood as long as possible.
yeah.
That's definitely something I'm in a frame of.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think we are too quick to kind of start the formal education, the learning. The kids should play, and I'm camp playing is let's play to the 7 or 8 because I've
Yeah.
seen the evidence of other parts of the world where kids are allowed to play longer rather than being
Well,
formally educated, and they
and
do better. So
you learn through play as well. You don't
I think
have to
so.
learn sitting at a desk. I mean, I feel like you retain more if you are doing something that's enjoyable and entertaining. There's a reason that they make documentaries quite interesting and
Yeah,
engaging and stuff now
I know.
because you're still learning.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's sneaking
yeah.
up on you though, not like in your face learning. No, but it's true, and I think the tide just makes it sound like they'll just be a bit more restrictive, and they want to. I
I
just,
mean, the school itself seems absolutely lovely, but yeah, I don't see the need for a 4-year-old to wear a tie.
I agree with you. I think if you can challenge it, because even my son, for example, he doesn't like things being too. There was a time where he didn't like things on his skin too tight,
Yeah,
or so I think he would struggle. I would have to say something because he just wouldn't feel comfortable to play or move his neck around. Oh, yeah,
yeah, yeah. And
yeah.
I think it should all be about comfort and about their learning. Like, I think you can be smart in a polo shirt. I feel really strongly about it, actually. And
No, I agree with you. I think you should look into it.
As a child, I was and I orchestrated a protest against
Oh,
girls having to wear.
oh,
I wanted
school's in
girls to be able to
trouble.
wear trousers,
Yeah,
and
school's in trouble.
I mean, it was me and a group of other children wrote a. We had like a petition that we made at school, and obviously it went nowhere because this was like 1989 or something, and they were quite very dismissive of it. But like they said loads of stupid stuff like, oh well, a draft can go up a trouser leg, like we had never worn trousers before. But if you've got tights on, that's not. I mean, it was just ludicrous, and obviously the world has moved on now to where it is commonplace for girls to be able to wear trousers to school, because seriously, a skirt is not that conducive to being able to do physical play and stuff like that. So yes, I've got form on leading some sort of protest.
Love that, and I think sometimes we've got to bring that advocacy to motherhood, because we will need to advocate for our parents. I think Gina Miller said a lot of that. Like even her advocacy as someone who's done so much and is widely recognized, it started off as advocating for her daughter, and I think that's probably an amazing way to finish this podcast. Is that as mothers, sometimes we just have to challenge things or speak up because of the love we have for our children and for that we're trying to help them. And I'm sure you're not the only one as well, because I don't want my son to wear a tie. I actually don't. Like that would actually really annoy me. So
yeah. I also feel like I remember like kids strangling each other with their ties at school.
I really don't get that. Has anyone not said anything, or it's just
I don't know. I don't know whether it's just
someone
status quo and like
I know someone needs to say it first. There is research that sometimes when in a group kind of environment, if nobody says something, even if something is a bit odd, you just need one person to start. So you're that person.
No.
Yeah, we need one person. There was a funny enough. There was this research about how if you sit a group of people in a room and then there's a smoke coming out of somewhere in the room, if there's about 3 people in there and nobody says anything, people sit there for longer. Did you know that? How mad is that? Without like saying, "Oh, there's smoke coming." How odd and crazy is that?
I don't know whether everyone feels like this, but I am somebody who like would usually say something and be like, "Does nobody else see this?
Yeah.
Like, what the
That's
hell?"
why you're the person who needs to advocate. And I think once you say it, you'd be surprised. Some other parents might actually agree with you or are thinking of it, but a lot of people are scared of maybe speaking up.
Yeah, I feel like I've got to give it a couple of
Give it a couple of time, definitely.
Before that annoying parent,
mysteriously just kicked out of school. You know that place we allocated? It was a mistake, actually.
Yeah, he maybe has to start first.
No, definitely.
Before I'm like marching in there, like, get these ties.
I love it. But yeah, no. We'll wrap it up, guys. But no, we actually was meant to talk about money, so never mind it.
We will do. We'll talk about that in the future, I think, because I think there's a lot to say on that.
Oh, so much. But this has been good as well. I think sometimes we've got to just kind of shake out some motherhood kind of things that we do that doesn't make sense, but makes sense to every other mother. But yeah, a future episode of Money is coming up, guys. Don't you worry.
Nice debrief there on our holidays as well.
Definitely. Hope you guys are having a great summer. Got lots planned. Thanks for
not sunny yet. It's only May.
Feels like when you have a warm day, you're kind of like, summer.
It is very sunny outside, but yeah, you're jumping the gun a little bit there.
So it feels like summer, especially in the northeast when it's sunny. Like for 2 days in a row, it's summer to me.
Well, it's really nice to do an episode just the two of us, but we've got some exciting episodes coming up, and let's do the like and subscribe bit. And if you're listening and you're enjoying it, please either share one of our episodes with somebody else who might enjoy it, and the other thing you could do that would really help us grow is to leave us a review. We're growing in terms of listeners, but you can really nice review. Yeah. None of this negative Nancy stuff.
Exactly. Nobody got time for that.
But yeah, the podcast's growing, but your help, if you're there, if you're listening and you're enjoying it, please support us by dropping us a 5-star review.
Definitely.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, thanks, guys. See you on the next one. Cheerio.
Bye.
Bye.